Okay, so it's Tuesday, April 5th at almost noon, and basically in terms of an update from the garden, I'll just kind of show you how things are growing, and I'll tell you what's really changed. Actually, not so much of a change. The marigold was dying. I finally just yanked it, so that's gone. The pea over here is gone, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do in terms of maybe putting something else there. Something I just noticed today, let's see if I can get this in the frame here, is that the pea and the pole bean on the left have actually joined. The tendrils from the pea have actually hooked onto the pole bean. Now what I'm actually going to try and do is carefully separate this, because this part of the pea, there are two stems on this pea, and this part of it seems like it might be taller. It might actually be able to reach up higher and get more sun. So I'm going to try and graft it onto here. I have these little loops that I'm going to try and use to hook it on. Moving on over to the tomato. I've got the two buds there. I haven't seen much in terms of flowering. The green part here, the little sort of star pattern, I don't know what you call that exactly, but the green part has been up and lifted for the last few days, while I haven't seen much of the flower. So I don't know if that means that it's dying off like previous ones, or if there's actually something going on underneath, and I'm not going to test it too hard because I don't want to damage a potential tomato. But also up here, there were a couple of buds that I had noticed probably a week ago, and they are now starting to burst forth, and so we'll see what we get from that. Let's take a look down below. I had seen some other, there's another bud down here. So I got buds popping up all over the plant. Actually, here's another one over here, and that one's starting to pop out, although actually that might be an older one, I'm not sure. So we'll see. I'm getting buds all over the plant as if it was really going to grow. This is really what I would have liked to have seen last year when I got like one tomato off this plant, but we'll see. Okay, it's Friday, a little after 1. It's probably been 3 or 4 days since I actually did an update. I've been that kind of busy. So here we go. Not a huge amount of change in the garden. I am starting to notice that the squash plants, the leaves are getting bigger. Somebody has pointed out that I need bigger containers, but I'm pretty much aware of that. For now, I'm growing a lot. I'll probably be splitting down a lot of these plants and giving them to people, maybe keeping the healthier ones. I don't know. I don't want to think I'm giving everybody all the sicker plants, but anyway. So I am aware of that, and ultimately all of this stuff is going to be in essentially their own pots, and they may be bigger pots when I'm done. We got the 2 over here in the 6-packs that are doing pretty good. No more real progress there. We have had sort of cloudy, mixed clouds and sun kind of weather. So right now things aren't really growing that fast. Oops, this one's fallen. That's alright, not a big deal. Didn't fall over and break or anything. Now let's take a look at the tomato plant, which is getting some sun right now in between the rain. And it actually looks like I need to give it more support. So we've got, the buds that were, I thought might be something, those really haven't turned into anything. We got some newer buds up on the top here, and we got other stuff growing in other places, like there's another one over here. So it's sort of promising, but I'm going to have to give it a little bit of support, and then I got to get back to work today. So there's the update for now. I'll probably have more updates this weekend. Okay, it's Sunday the 10th, a little past 11 a.m. The sun is out, and there's not going to be too much of an update in terms of progress, but what I'm actually going to be doing today is at least trying to replace this whole shelf right here, which was really a temporary thing. I don't like the cinder blocks, so I actually bought some stained cedar fence boards, a couple of those, and they're going to run up along the railing here, and they're going to give me about 12 feet of shelf. So we'll just give you sort of the before picture, and we'll give you some pictures along the way, and then I'll show you the end product. Okay, so everything's been cleared out. Now it's time to start actual construction. Okay. case it has 3 brackets. And now it has a shelf, although I've discovered that a few of my little decisions in terms of the sizes of screws and such didn't quite work out. So it's not the most stable thing in the world, but it should be good enough. Now I got to do the other part, which means also taking down the planter box that's in the middle there. Okay, so now we have 12 feet of shelf, and now I've just got to put some stuff up and clean up. And I almost forgot to shoot the after sequence, so this is what it looks like with everything on it. The only other real change is I took some of the, if you look back a few episodes, I had some yogurt cups that I was experimenting with the blue crystal soil. A couple of the seeds that were in there started germinating, but I think they were all just kind of drowning in how much water was being forced out of those balls in the sun, so I went ahead and transplanted them into these 2 on the end, one of which was supposed to contain a seed that I transplanted from the kitchen, but it pretty much just died right off the bat. So a couple of pole beans, we'll see what happens. Okay, so it's Monday, April the 11th, and this is what I've done. Things are still growing, no major update, except to say that along the shelf here what I do is I finally took all those 6-packs. Several of the spaces in the 6-packs were empty, some of them just weren't growing, so I'm down to 1 6-pack now, which is the seeds that I planted from the squash that I bought for the kitchen to enjoy myself without having to wait for everything to grow this year. I took that and I reduced it down to this 6-pack here, and then I took out 1 good plant. Actually, I thought I had 2. Anyway, there's 1 good plant here, and then there was 1 other good plant, which was one of the baby watermelons. So I put that in one of the smaller pots. But it's a smaller pot, but it's larger than the 6-pack. And if it continues to grow, I will eventually move it up to a larger and larger pot. It's just that's how I do things. I can have that many plants now. If everything starts to really explode like it did a couple of years ago, then I will find homes for all these plants. Otherwise, it's just me planting a lot of extras. So just as an insurance policy, so that I actually have a chance of getting a good crop this year. Minor update, I just realized that these 2 on the end here have no labeling whatsoever, and in all the moving stuff around, I'm not sure what's actually planted, so I'm going to have to go back and look at my own videos to figure out what those 2 plants are. And I just moved 1 up from down below up onto the shelf. This shelf is turning out to be a really good idea, just because it gives me more space to move things. It's all compact and move things around from planter to planter and what have you, but at least it gave me a good 12 feet to actually work with.